Hello everyone, and welcome to a review video where I review Detroit Become Human, both Connor, Marcus, and Kara's story, and then I piece them all together, and then I freaking give my review out of how many points out of 10 for this. You're about to see soon enough. So let's get started. We start off with Connor's story. As you see here, he's being programmed to hunt down deviants, and if he succeeds, well, they either get captured or this happens. We need more questions answered. I'll say what I'm talking about in a minute here.
You lied to me, Connor. You lied to me.
Then Connor goes to meet someone named Hank Anderson, who can either be your worst enemy or your best friend that will be there for you, depending on the choices that you make in this game. So, what does Connor do after buying Hank a drink, and what does he do since, well, he's programmed to do it? What does he do with Hank? Well, ladies and gentlemen, he goes to help Hank solve murders and crimes. Like, for example, in this game, someone got killed. So Connor goes to investigate, find any evidence, and then since he's an android, and androids are smarter than humans in this apparently, he's able to find out what happened, and he's able to hunt down another deviant. Connor also, in some of the chapters we play as him, we get to meet this person named Amanda, and if I'm being honest, I hate her in this game. Not the actor. The actor did well for her character, but I do not like her because Hank wants Connor to act like a human, be like a human, and basically see that androids are people too. While this person, Amanda, wants Connor to just be an obedient machine, and it'll end up biting him in the ass because he'll end up getting replaced by another Connor model, RK900. And at the end of the day, there is a scene that, depending on the choice you make, you can choose for Connor to either become a deviant or stay a machine. And if you choose for him to become a deviant, this will either end up backfiring or basically helping him in the process, which I will get to right now. And there is a scene where you can, well, fuck. There is a scene where if Connor was a deviant and goes to help Marcus by getting a lot of androids out of the assembly plant in the CyberLife store, there is a part where Hank will get targeted or try to get or almost killed by a machine, another machine Connor. And if you play your cards right and choose the correct choices, this happens.
Cole didn't make it. That's why you hate androids. You think one of us is responsible for your son's death.
Cole died because a human surgeon was too high on red ice to operate. He was the one that took my son from me. Him in this world where the only way people can find comfort is with a fistful of powder.
I knew about your son too. I would have said exactly the same thing. Don't listen to him, Hank. I'm the one who...
Yeah, I've learned a lot since I met you, Connor. Maybe there's something to this. Maybe you really are alive. Maybe you'll be the ones to make the world a better place.
And then after this, basically Connor wakes up the other androids. Now I could explain how things would have gone down if Connor became a machine, but I'm gonna leave that up to someone else to do because I don't want to do a lot of editing. But now on to the last part of Connor's story. If you chose Connor to become a deviant, Amanda will try to take control of his program. For example, as you're about to see right here.
It's planned from the very beginning. You were compromised and you became a deviant. We just had to wait for the right moment to resume control of your program.
Resume control? You can't do that!
I'm afraid I can, Connor.
So basically, if you help Connor get to the emergency exit program, that Kamsky did say that he leaves an emergency exit in his programs. If you, like you just saw here, help Connor get to that emergency exit, he will not shoot Marcus. He will still remain a deviant, and then basically his story is finished if you took the deviant path. No, I'm not showing the machine path because I didn't do that path. So Connor's story, I'm giving a 10 out of 10. His story's perfect. Like, his story is perfect. Like, there's nothing else that needs to be said. Connor's story is literally the point of Detroit Become Human at best. And I believe if there is going to be a sequel, even if there is, there should at least be a sequel with Connor and Hank. That's all I'm saying. And now, on to the next part of this video.
Kara.
My name is Kara.
I'm not going to say much about Kara's story because after looking at other people's videos about explaining about this game, I really do understand it because I've been noticed it from the game itself. Kara is basically an obedient android. At first, she's an android housewife until Todd's psychopathic self gets the bright idea to do this.
Pay for a fucking accountant! It's all your fault.
Daddy, no!
It's all your fucking fault! You stay there. Don't you dare fucking move, or I'll bust you worse than last time.
This prompts Kara, if you take that route, this prompts Kara to turn deviant and then basically go save Alice or reason with Todd. But since we're going with the part where I don't think Kara's story deserves a sequel, yes, I'm saying that, even though I said her story deserves a sequel in that one video I did, but I've changed my mind recently, and Kara's story does not deserve a sequel. It needs to be rewritten, and we will get to that in a minute. So she turns deviant. You just see here, she can protect Alice or reason with Todd. There are a few problems I have with Kara's story, and there's two main reasons. The first main reason being Alice is always fucking cold! Like, what the fuck? And here are some scenes that will prove my point that I am about to explain.
Why do humans hate us? We didn't do anything wrong. Why can't we just talk to each other? They'd see we're not bad.
But don't you worry, Detroit Become Human fans. It only gets more obvious from there.
You know what happened back there, don't you? You know that you don't want to tell me? I thought we didn't keep secrets from each other. If I tell you, you won't love me anymore. Alice, you know that's not true.
Actually, it is true, Kara. If you take that certain path! God, that made literally no sense, but back to the point. So basically, to sum things up, Kara's story is basically about her breaking programming, becoming a deviant to take care of Alice, who she thinks is a human child. Which would make perfect sense, right? Because Kara is an android. She's programmed to... Androids like her are programmed to take care of children. Kara wants to be a mother figure for Alice. And do you remember when she says this?
I don't care whether she's human or android. She's just someone who matters to me.
Well, clearly that was a blatant lie, because look what happens next. See? Alice is an android. And there's hints of it because she talks about it. For example, why do humans hate us? We didn't do anything wrong. And even Kara knew from the beginning! Look, I still love this game, and I still love Kara's story. But when she sees this, the point of her story means nothing anymore. Yep. Look at her face. Look what's going on. Even you just heard me say it. This ruins Kara's story. It ruins the plot. And basically for that, and that reason alone, Kara's story basically gets a 3 out of 10. Like, after this scene right here where Alice is revealed to be an android, Kara's story literally makes no sense. Someone else will explain it better for me than I can, but the only reason why I'm giving it 3 points is because Kara's story, it is very emotional, and it makes you get in the feels for her and her story. But other than that, 7 points got taken off because, like, Alice is basically an android. She even tries to tell Kara, and she's just still in denial. Like, what the fuck? So this, it gets a 3 out of 10. It's like, I love the character, but the story, if we want a sequel to this game, Kara's story needs to be rewritten entirely from the ground up for her story to even have a sequel at this point. And now we get to the last and final character. Main character, shall I say. No, not him. Marcus, the deviant leader. Oh, this one's gonna be really good. So basically, Marcus's story, it starts off as in, he is a caretaker or whatever for Carl. And Carl, he treats Marcus like his own son, which is really cool to see. Like, in this game, you don't see a lot of the humans treating androids like good people. But Carl treats Marcus like his own son, and Marcus even says later on in the game, if you pick the right choice, that Carl was like a father to Marcus. So basically, Marcus's story starts off as he's a caretaker for Carl Manfred until this happens.
I have nowhere to go. Carl, you're all I have.
Get out! Now! Go! Marcus!
Don't fucking move!
We then end up in a junkyard where we were tossed at after we were shot, aka after Marcus was shot. And basically he has to, as you're seeing right here, find parts to put back in his body, or an android robot self, to basically be able to climb this slope right here, get out of the junkyard, and then he freaking escapes. He escapes the junkyard and is reborn once again, which brings us to the next part. He makes it to Jericho, and after meeting North, Simon, Josh, and I think that's pretty much it. Josh and Simon welcome him with open arms, and North basically says, well, you're new to this, I don't care about you or who you are, until basically after he proves himself, and then North cares about him. Now, there are some problems I have with this game, well, not this game, but Marcus's story, which I will get to in a second. Now, I know I've skipped some major points about this video and this game, but if you're wondering why I've skipped most of the stuff about the stories in this game of each main character, is because I don't want to be editing too long. But back to the point. Marcus basically becomes the deviant leader. If you kept Carl alive, he'll visit him one more time before he goes to do what he has to do. This is such a terrible review. I will honestly understand it if this video got disliked.
November 11, 2038 is the day the android people rose up against their oppressors. We've been fighting since dawn to liberate our fellow androids from the camps. We won't cease hostilities until we are free and negotiations begin to grant us equal rights. There are millions of us, and we will stop at nothing. Freedom or death. Attack!
So Marcus, basically, his story is about becoming the deviant leader and helping androids secure their freedom. RA9. And RA9 is basically simple in this game. RA9 was the first of the androids to awaken, being Kara. One day he will rise up and lead their people to freedom, being Marcus. He's the deviant leader. And you see right here, I went the revolution path. So basically, Marcus can either choose to protest peacefully or fight or rebel against their creators and basically get the androids' freedom. So basically, Marcus is a deviant leader, and now I'm going to the problems I have with this game. With not this game, damn it! First part of this goes to North, and don't get me started on her, bro. She literally complains about everything Marcus does if he takes the peaceful route. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, if you want North to love you in this game, you have to basically have Marcus take the violent route. And if you don't, North is going to be complaining about every single thing he does. That's the one problem I have with this. Well, it's because she hates humans because of what happened at the Eden Club with a certain person she was with. But it don't matter. North will literally complain about everything Marcus does if it's a peaceful route. I don't care what happened to her. Yes, I understand it was harmful for her and it made her mad at humans. But at the same time, you complain about everything, bitch! So overall for Marcus's story, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. It's really good. It's up there with Connor's story, but the only problem I have is not North's character entirely. It's just the fact that if you take the peaceful route, basically North tells you to fuck off. Maybe that's just me being salty, but I really don't care. Other than that, I don't hate North's character entirely. Minka Kelly, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, she played North's character very well. She did an amazing job. So did the rest of the actors of this game. And now, to the last part of this. This whole game in general, I give it a 9 out of 10 because this game is very good. I've played this game and beaten it millions of times, and I'll do it another million times if I choose because this game is very good, except the only reason why I didn't get a perfect score is Kara's story. It needs to be rewritten and fixed a lot because it just makes no sense. Alice is an android. That means Kara was not only in denial, her story gets ruined because she wanted to take care of a human child. And that would make perfect sense, right? She saved Alice from Todd, her abusive father, who, mind you, with Alice, after that, she only shows basically trauma in Fugitive chapter. After that, she don't even show signs of traumatization. Because let me remind you, any kid that was abused by someone, that trauma would not leave them. That would stay with them for the rest of their lives until the day they die. I'm not kidding. Look that shit up. It is true. It's never happened to me, thank God. And I'm sorry to anyone who has had that happen to them. But Alice being an android, it makes no sense. It makes sense for her being an android because she already was trying to tell Kara, like, hey, yo, I'm an android. Like, how are you still not seeing this? But basically, if a kid were to get hurt by someone who was abusive, that trauma will stay with them. So, this game gets a 9 out of 10. Kara's story is the only problem, really, and it needs to be rewritten entirely. Anyway, that's all I got. Now I gotta go edit this dang video, which is gonna take me a long time. See you later.